90 days until happily ever after, or 90 days until becoming an American citizen. With these international couples, we bet the latter.
It's gross.
Sure, there are some people who prove to find love within just 2 months, but they're definitely not on this list. Whether it be because of the couple's large age gaps, their explosive arguments,
I am coming back now,
or their obvious need for a green card, the odds of these foreign fiancés being genuinely in love after just 90 days are not in their favor. Amira and Andrew. Immigrating to America is not easy, but if you are an attractive woman looking for an American husband, it's not too hard to get that passport stamped. Many have accused French native Amira for using Andrew to get a green card and for fame. They may be right because after they got engaged, Amira was emotionally abusive, and Andrew even ran a smear campaign against her. She has since moved on to another American man, which fuels her reputation as a green card digger even more. Aswelu and Kilani. This couple was full of family drama. After their time on the show, fans were shocked to hear that Kilani said she wanted to leave Aswelu after she claims his mom and sister attacked her for not sending them money.
They are telling me that I brainwash you.
Plus, there were a lot of cultural barriers that just made it all too complicated. On top of that, they had a lot of money trouble on their own and slept in different beds. It seems like they're tolerating each other more than genuinely being in love. Big Ed and Rose. These two were standouts from the show. Not only were they an odd couple due to their large age gaps, but he was definitely not honest about his intentions. He knew from the beginning that it was Rose's dream to have a lot of kids, but after meeting in person, he said he didn't want to have any. He was also brutally honest, saying that she had bad breath and that she should shave her legs for him.
If you shave your legs, I'll shave my beard. Why?
Meanwhile, Rose pointed out that he had lied about his height and stood up for herself by calling him out for being condescending. It looks like Rose found her voice, and Ed was just not marriage material. David and Lana. Most of us recognize that the advertisements on the side of our screen calling for hot Russian singles are likely to be nothing more than a scam, but not David. He spent $100,000 talking to Lana and had chatted for over 5,000 hours before trying to meet up in person, only to be stood up as Lana gave him the wrong address. This caused the 6-year-old to hire a private investigator to look for the 29-year-old, and when he finally found her, Lana accepted the ring and a new phone, but would never text him back. She claimed that her nails were too long to type messages, but continued to use the same dating website where she met David. If you still don't get the hint by now, David, we'll decode it for you. She probably was after your wallet, not you. Mike and Natalie. These two were always at each other's throats. She can be a little bit bizarre and has insulted Mike many times. Well, Mike never seemed to be into the relationship at all, and has been accused of infidelity. No detection of a single drop of love here. Britney and Yasin. Foreign couples often struggle with culture shock, and Britney was definitely in for one when she visited Jordan and brought booze with her, something that was not acceptable to Yasin's Muslim family. To make matters worse, Yasin found out she had scandalous social media pictures posted, and oh yeah, that she was still married to another man. We don't know what strings Britney was trying to pull, but genuine feelings don't seem to be involved. Colt and Larissa. Couples fight here and there, but have you seen a fight go so bad that it led to an arrest? Larissa would feud with not just Colt, but his family as well. They were fighting so much he had to call the police. And they took Larissa to jail not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Larissa was arrested again.
Larissa even flushed their wedding ring down the toilet, and eventually their marriage went down that direction as well, as they divorced in 2019. Azin and Nicole. They say love conquers all, but we'll never know with this couple because they had a lot of money troubles that led to them indefinitely delaying their wedding. This eventually led to Azin ghosting Nicole, but it's later revealed that this was the result of him being in jail. But that's probably not why their love story didn't have a happy ending, because he said he was barely attracted to Nicole.
I'm attracted to Nicole, but just like, for example, 55%.
Viewers believe Azin simply wanted to get his green card and use the money to fund his upcoming business ventures. We bet Nicole was glad the wedding didn't go through. Darcy and Jesse. These two seemingly had a loving relationship, but after issues with binge drinking on Darcy's part, and Darcy claiming Jesse to be manipulative and dishonest, the two stopped contacting each other after their breakup. It got even messier as Darcy was accused of stalking Jesse after they called it quits, and he threatened her with legal action because of it. Being in love and being obsessed are not the same thing. Ashley and Jay. While vacationing in Jamaica, Ashley thought she met the love of her life in Jay, and that they would raise her 2 kids together. But given that he's only 22 and she's 34, she probably should have seen the red flags. Not long after they married, Jay got onto dating sites to talk to other women. She told him that if he shows up at her house, the police would be waiting to deport him.
What have you come from?
I am calling the police.
A green card hunter and a cheater? That's a big no. Molly and Louie. Sometimes you just wonder how couples ended up together in the first place. That's the case with Molly and Louie, who had a large age gap, were in constant screaming matches, and he showed creepy behavior towards her daughter. Soon after their divorce, Louie quickly married another woman. They had the perfect formula for a loveless marriage. Leta and Eric. They say when you marry a man, you marry into their family as well. This is something Leta should have learned before she married Eric, who has a teenage daughter, Tasha, that she did not get along with at all. Tensions were so high that she convinced Eric to kick her out of the home and had to file a restraining order against Tasha.
Put me into a position where I had to choose between her or Leta.
Leta also had a history of compulsive lying, stating that she's a model, actress, teacher, and medical school graduate in Indonesia. But that could not be verified. This marriage just screams red flags. Danielle and Mohammed. These two were considered the messiest couple to ever grace the show. Aside from their large age gap, with Danielle being 41 years old and Mohammed 26, they really didn't have much in common. After meeting in an online chat room before the show, they surprisingly got married even though her children questioned his intentions. And their intuitions were right, because just 2 weeks after, he fled. Mohammed revealed that he was never attracted to Danielle, said that she stinks, and refused to get intimate with her, citing religious reasons. But we have a feeling that was not why. She was no saint either, because it turns out she lied about her bad checks, credit card frauds, and had a mountain of debt. Unsurprisingly, the couple divorced in March 2017. And by October 2017, Danielle felt used and ended up suing him for paying his expenses, and even tried to get him kicked out of the country. It's safe to say they definitely shouldn't have gotten married. Anfisa and George. When someone makes it clear they're only in it for the money, it probably isn't a good idea to think the marriage will be a loving one.
He promised to get me whatever I want.
What had begun as a romantic spark on Facebook took a dramatic turn with explosive fights and ended in George landing in jail for possession of illegal substances. In her defense, Anfisa said he was only ever in it for her looks, and that he cheated, lied, and never stood up for her. You can buy a lot of things, but you can't buy love. Mark and Nikki. Imagine being 58 years old and marrying someone in their teens. That's what happened with Mark, who married 19-year-old Nikki, who's younger than all his adult children. Viewers were especially uncomfortable when he started treating her like a child. They met online before he proposed to the Philippine native and made her sign a prenup. That definitely screams love. Not. Although marriages for some have multi-purposes, it's safe to say that a lot of the problems these couples have would have been avoided if they made commitments out of genuine love. Which couple do you think was the worst?
A romance with a large age gap, disapproving parents, and indecisive action sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Sounds good.
Indecision. Jenny and Sumit finally, after 10 years of dating, got married.
Finally! It only took 9-10 years, but we're finally married.
Audiences were surprised after seeing how tumultuous their relationship had been. Sumit was especially nervous when towards the end, after filing for marriage, a process that would take 30 days, he told his friend that he would hold off the application due to his nerves. Was it a case of cold feet or because it didn't feel completely right?
I'm not ready for the marriage right now.
Expiring visa. One of the difficulties of their relationship was Jenny's constant expiring visa. They know that if they don't get married, she would not be able to stay in India anymore, and because of that, the relationship is going to end. We're not sure how great a rushed marriage would be. Ultimatums. Jenny had threatened to go back to America if she didn't get the marriage license. The couple had tried to find other ways to legally keep her in the country without bringing up marriage, but ultimately, this seems to be the only way. This makes us wonder what other ultimatums she could give in the future. Family feud. Parents' approval is a big deal, but especially in India where respect is everything. So, when Sumit's parents made it clear they despise Jenny, it put a huge rift in how they are going forward in their relationship. Not to mention how they didn't tell their parents about the wedding because they didn't want it to be stopped. Sumit's parents also want to move in with them, and that can only cause disastrous outcomes.
My first thought is no, and not just no, but hell no.
Plus, Sumit's brother is more on their parents' side, blaming them for putting a strain on the family dynamic, telling him he would never marry his wife without their parents' approval, and even saying that they are never going to get their parents' approval in their lives. Harsh. With no support from family and friends and only relying on each other, it's gonna be a very tough marriage. Jenny said, "I know it's wrong not to tell his parents that we're getting married. It wasn't an easy decision to make, but Sumit and I have been through so much, and I don't really trust them 100%. Sounds like a lot of drama. Meanwhile, Sumit has hopes they would eventually come around. He's sure of an optimist, all right. Mommy issues. We're also not sure how long the marriage will last, as Sumit has a special bond with his mom. Sumit's mom also crosses boundaries, like making up her mind that she's moving in with her son without consultation. She says, "I wanted to live with him because I have an attachment to him, and Sumit is attached to me." We suspect she knows exactly what she's doing by moving in. It would be the perfect way for her to drive the American back to her homeland. Plus, is any happily engaged man really that excited to have their parents move in with them? We think not. Age gap. If you don't know by now, this couple has an abnormal age gap, with Jenny being 63 and Sumit being 33. The 30-year age gap between the two could be detrimental as they get older. We wonder what they even have in common. Children. A big part of the marriage discussion is having children. Sumit's mom worries how they will possibly have any children, and the couple initially wanted to adopt but have decided against it. Plus, Jenny already has 3 daughters and grandkids, so she probably would not want to do it all over again. They do currently have dogs though, but would this be a regret Sumit has down the road? Sudden marriage. Their marriage also came at lightning speed. Even though they have been dating for 10 years, they seem to have rushed their officiation process. A traditional Indian ceremony usually comes with a large celebration, and that's what Jenny had originally hoped for. But with such negativity surrounding their relationship, this couple seems to have made this life-changing decision out of the blue.
We don't know what our future holds, but only thing we know is that we're happy together.
Roadblocks. There were multiple times where audiences suspected that Sumit was stringing Jenny along for years. He had plenty of excuses, ranging from his parents, visa issues, cultural differences, and insecurities. When dealing with uncertainties, Sumit said he's marrying her because the idea of losing her is worse. Isn't the point of marriage for love, not abandonment? How Jenny had so much patience is the real question. Just because she's got the title doesn't mean these roadblocks are going away anytime soon, unfortunately. Deceptive ways. Sumit actually catfished the grandmother when they originally met online, as he had posed as a male model named Michael Jones for several years.
Like, what? I mean, what?
He only came clean when he developed strong feelings for her, admitting to being not handsome and from New Delhi and working at a call center. Even though she had been deceived, she still forgave him and traveled to India to meet him. She says on the show, "I think that everyone is entitled to happiness. I didn't really think I would find love again, to tell you the truth." With so many lies on top of one another, could Sumit still be hiding other things even if they're married? Once divorced. The lies actually didn't stop there. Sumit was previously married before in an arranged marriage, and that was actually one of the main obstacles that had prevented him from tying the knot with Jenny early on. When Jenny found out, she had an emotional breakdown where she threw herself into a hotel room and had to call one of the show's producers to help her, as she had been stuck there for 5 days in shock.
Why did he marry somebody if he loved me? If he's telling me he loves me all these years, every single day?
Apparently, Sumit said the original marriage had been so stressful for him that his parents had to eventually pay $20,000 for the divorce to be finalized.
He has not paid me anything.
Sounds brutal. It also explains why he's terrified of commitment. He explains, the fear is still there in my heart, in my mind, somewhere, but I know the person I'm living with is nice. I hope everything will go fine. Distance no more. Most of their relationship had been long distance, as Jenny has to leave the country every 6 months due to visa issues. Even though she thinks they'll be fine once they're married, would too much time together turn out to be an issue? They say distance makes the heart grow fonder, so would they have a change of hearts once that issue is eliminated? Plus, this means Jenny would be away from her own children for a very long time. We'll just have to wait and see. Uncertain future. They actually don't have many plans for what's next, which can be quite concerning. Even though they're married, Jenny says we don't know what our future holds. Only thing we know is that we're happy together and we're living our life the way we want to. We made it. That's all we can say is, we made it. We don't know how much you can trust a marriage certificate to seal the deal with a man that's been divorced. Sometimes there's a lot more challenges after the finish line, Jenny. Body language. If your mind can't decide, your body definitely can. And a lot of Sumit's body language speaks volumes to how he feels in the relationship. When his parents changed their opinion on approving their marriage, Sumit was noticeably more sweaty, anxious, and tongue-tied.
I was a bit nervous about it.
If this isn't a sign of uncertainty, we don't know what is. Disapproving society. No matter where you live, gossip spreads, and you can't hide behind the visibly large age differences between the two. Every time they walk out, people will stare. Having an uncomfortable surrounding surely makes it hard for a romance to blossom. Not to mention they have put themselves on TV, where they are open to huge criticism. There's no escaping the hate, which can put a lot of pressure on newlyweds. It looks like this odd couple has fought through the trenches, but the battle is still far from over. We're exhausted just from listing their troubles.
It seems like Michael and Angela knew their relationship was doomed from the start, and even predicted its future. From Michael saying their relationship wouldn't last unless Angela permanently toned her voice down, to Angela asking Michael if he thought it was difficult having her as a fiancé, he has another thing coming, having her as a wife. The newlyweds are living more of a nightmare than getting their fairy tale ending.
Get your ass to the apartment. I want to go. I want to be away from you.
In a recent interview with Entertainment Tonight, Angela revealed that she met with a lawyer after contemplating getting a divorce from Michael. 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After is currently airing, and fans are seeing the continuing whirlwind of a relationship. Will the relationship survive to see its second-year anniversary? Viewers and even the couple aren't too sure. Angela and Michael's love story started through modern-day romance on social media. Michael, who lives in Nigeria, private messaged Angela on Facebook, and the two have been on and almost off a few times ever since. Their relationship began with problems that they are still working through today, the biggest problems being their cultural differences and age gap. Angela is a 55-year-old Mima, while Michael is over 20 years younger than her. Due to the big age difference, Angela tends to act as the boss in the relationship and disregards Michael's requirements and standards set by his Nigerian culture. Angela's non-attempt to become a submissive wife has put a strain not only in her marriage with Michael, but also with his friends and family. It's part of Michael's Nigerian culture for Angela to be a submissive wife and always act accordingly, especially in public.
Just to bring her voice down a little if she's too dramatic.
We all know that Angela is the exact opposite of that. She's loud, exaggerated, bold, and marches to the beat of her own drum. She has blatantly told Michael that she will never change to meet the Nigerian submissive wife standards. Michael's friends even sat him down and told him that they think Angela is possessive and bossy after an incident occurred when she threw a drink on one of his friends after a minor disagreement.
Is that funny? Is that funny?
Considering Angela is 20 years older than her 34-year-old husband, she wants things her way or Michael can hit the highway. After one of the couple's many arguments, Angela kicked Michael out of their hotel room and made him sleep in his car overnight.
I found my clothes in the hallway. I had to sleep in the car.
Fans accuse Angela of verbally abusing and belittling Michael after doing things like making him sleep in the car and calling him names. While Angela doesn't live up to Michael's standards as a wife, Michael doesn't live up to hers either. In Nigeria, it's legal to have multiple wives, but he and Angela are in a monogamous relationship. Sometimes Michael crosses lines in their relationship when it comes to other women. Angela can't put her trust in Michael's faithfulness in their marriage.
If I can't trust him dead in front of my face, then what the hell am I doing marrying him?
Angela once threatened to call off their wedding after Michael looked at another woman's behind while they were at an exotic dance club.
Yeah, I shouldn't be marrying a younger man because obviously he can't even look at me in public instead of looking at other women.
She even told Michael that he's not allowed to follow other women on social media, although he does anyway. On the current season of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Angela told her daughter Skyla that she's going to hire someone to hack into Michael's phone to ensure he's behaving.
What you gonna do, hack his phone?
I damn sure am. He ain't seen the wrath of me yet.
Even though Angela has Michael on a tight leash, her rules don't apply to her apparently. In the current season of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Angela was heavily flirting with her doctor, Dr. Obeng.
You're too handsome to be my daughter.
She joked that the doctor was either the universe's gift to her or a test to get her in trouble. Michael rightfully got angry about her flirty behavior, but didn't throw an Angela-styled fit about it. However, the biggest problem in their marriage right now is Angela undergoing multiple cosmetic and weight loss surgeries. In August 2020, Angela spent thousands of dollars on weight loss surgery with the disapproval of Michael. In the current season of 90 Day Fiancé, Angela is currently deciding if she's going to spend $25,000 more for a facelift.
$25,000.
What?
Yeah.
Come back to Nigerian naira, please.
Michael doesn't support Angela getting the surgeries because it's against his culture to undergo them for cosmetic purposes. As for the facelift, he and his family firmly believe that Angela could have saved the money towards raising a child if she and Michael decided to have one. In Nigerian culture, it's a duty for all men to have a child so that their legacy can be carried on for generations. The 55-year-old Mima has been hesitant on having a baby because of her older age. The couple considered alternative options to conceive a child, but the constant arguing resulted in Angela not wanting to have one. This decision may be the final straw for the couple, and we foresee a downhill battle in the couple's future.
Nigerian music sensation Usman Soulja Boy Umar has more than just rapper and reality TV star to his list of credentials because Kim is now just another girl under his relationship history on Wikipedia. Lost in the shuffle of middle America, 50 and single, Kim was given the opportunity to date a famous rapper in Africa, live a rock and roll lifestyle, and get paid while doing it. We can all see why she would sign the contract before finishing her signature and book the red-eye flight to Zanzibar. Could this be a modern Cinderella story? Well, yes and no. Upon Kim's arrival, Usman displayed clear signs of discomfort and disregard right from the start. His lackluster approach with her ended with many awkward situations.
I should put on my Michael Jackson.
I don't care what you do. Let's just go.
When he finally called Kimberly his girlfriend, they left off with two differing replies if her goodbye would end with their first kiss, with Kim saying yes and Usman saying no.
Bye.
Bye. I love you.
The confusion continued when Usman claimed he initially wanted to bring his girlfriend, Zara, and not Kim, as his girlfriend on the show, claiming,
I actually wanted to go on TV with Zara, but because of some of my reasons, I decided not to go on.
Kim admitted this made her feel like a second option. Kim went further to say that if she knew this, she would have never pursued anything.
He should have told me at that point that he was in a relationship. I would have never in my life pursued anything with him.
Kim opens up further regarding their relationship with Usman, stating she feels insecure with their long-distance relationship and that it needs more security, which they greatly lack. Usman recently released a new music video of getting married called Zara. Usman's fake marriage with Zara in the music video fooled fans and Kim, to which she commented, "Congratulations" on his post. Kim left cryptic messages about how things will get better, saying, "I promise," leaving fans wondering if this is a potential connection again or to subconsciously comfort her uncertainty. Yet surprisingly, Usman apologized for misleading fans and that it was just for entertainment purposes and that his heart is with Kim, stating, "We have a beautiful relationship yet to unfold." Usman's debut on the show with his now ex-wife, baby girl Lisa, ended in a chaotic divorce. Usman's flourishing rap career has gained major exposure, gaining fans and fame.
I applied to be on TV because I love being on TV. This is what I've been doing since from childhood.
Thanks to his relationship drama unfolding on 90 Day Fiancé. Get used to Usman because he's not going anywhere. He was candid when he admitted he will have a permanent spot on the TV show, stating TLC will always got his back because there's always going to be a spot for him as a cast member.
TLC said that due to what happened, if actually I'm in any new relationship and I'm ready to tell them.
With exposure and fame came major issues in his infamous personal life. Usman or Soulja Boy, that's the question. So with fame comes fans, right? And that's exactly who Usman pursued twice. Yet this time, Kim admitted and bragged, proudly professing her infatuation with Soulja Boy. Sounds like a modern day fairy tale, right?
It's the craziest thing to think that I would fall in love with like a singer/rapper guy.
Kim's high expectation of her potential fairy tale life had opened herself up to a lot of regret. Due to her explosive, questionable, and embarrassing behavior on the show, she had been receiving a lot of backlash from haters on social media and admitted, "Things have been rough on social media the last 2 days and had me questioning myself and Usman. I won't let negative DMs and comments ruin what we have." Kim confessed she was mortified by her portrayal on the show and the reactions to it. She regrets many things she said and did throughout this relationship. As a result of the criticism, opening herself up to a reality show has put significant strain on her future with Usman. Mostly though, it brought her a lot of shame and embarrassment. One of the viewers with a lot of opinions was none other than Usman's ex-wife, Lisa. She mocked Kim's relationship with Usman throughout the whole season. Lisa stated, "As far as Usman coming back on the show with Kimberly, I do believe it's a fraud. He's back on, so TLC would do the video Zara. Has nothing to do with Kim." She also believed Kimberly was chosen specifically to be on the show with Usman, being quoted to say, "When he called her a super fan, I about fell off the couch laughing, but she's portrayed as a super fan, so I truly believe that Kim was chosen to be on the show." When it came to his questionable loyalty for Kim, he laughed along viewers mocking her, encouraging his followers by saying their criticisms were right on. Rather than building genuine bonds together, Kim questioned Usman and the relationship.
After all the things I've done for him, it makes me question everything.
If they even had the security to maintain a long-distance relationship, since she was now back in America while Usman resides in Tanzania. The truth about Zara was revealed, leaving Kim to just accept it. It was just like everything else he threw at her. Kim stated,
"But during this time that I was putting this work in, he's dating a whole nother chick." Best.
Her once open-minded perception of accepting Usman's baggage and lifestyle for the sake of the relationship and her ways of expressing love had resulted in viewers calling her desperate, manipulative, and even predatory. Her humiliation on national television from the perpetual rejection and all the backlash was exposed for the world to see. Yet, actually witnessing this for herself and how everything has unfolded has affected her in a significant way. Usman was not even trying to hide how he felt. He admitted his true love for Zara, admitted his heartbreak over her ending it with him due to her inability to accept his career. He stated, "But I have to move on, and I just decided to focus on Kimberly." Kim accepted everything that came with Usman and his particular lifestyle. When Zara ended things with Usman, he began to focus his view on Kim to fit a role in his life, but mostly her role in his storyline. He was quoted to say, "She's going to be supportive. She's going to be loyal." Usman stated this, sounding more demanding than optimistic. The future is not looking too bright for Kim, and now, with a notch under Usman's belt, Kim's security in the relationship and on the show as his fiancé seemed unlikely to survive. Kim's pushing for something more between them and that it's reached its limit. Kim threw a drink in his face after he found her anger funny due to him hiding his relationship with Zara. Kim took his gifts back and hesitantly packed her bags to leave him. Usman finally lost his usual collected or indifferent composure by saying, "I always try to make you happy." He was in disbelief by the stunt of leaving him over his relationship with Zara.
I break up with the lady before I ever start dating you. You blaming me for that?
He went further to confess his real thoughts on the relationship by saying, "Why are you doing this to me? Take everything and putting it in my head."
For all the time I've been talking to you, I'm not in love or relationship with you. You are my friend. Who does that?
Usman claimed he saw in Kim the same red flags he saw in his ex Lisa, controlling, quick to get angry, and incredibly jealous. When Kim decided to pack her bags, he packed up his Louis Vuitton suitcase quicker than she did. He left Kim with her hands on her hips, waiting for him to come back and reclaim what he just abandoned. He walked away from Kim without looking back, saying,
"And I'm seeing the same habit now in Kimbali, and I'm not gonna take it that way. I'm not gonna compromise for anybody. You either build me for who am I, or you just have to go."
Leaving her no choice but to accept that Usman was done with her. Now, that must have been the longest flight back home to America of all time. Yet, despite of his candid confessions, Kim will be back for the upcoming season, and we will be here watching it all unfold.
First comes love, then comes red flags. These 90-day fiancé before the 90 days couples were doomed from the start.
Why did he tell me he lived in Manchester?
Kim and Uzman. We know what you may be thinking. Uzman, wasn't he married to Lisa? Yes, he was, but that didn't stop Mr. Soulja Boy from getting back on the show for season 5. Kim and Uzman's relationship isn't really a relationship, as you can clearly tell if you've been keeping up this season. And that's the first sign telling fans that they were never getting together. Kim DM'd the Nigerian rapper as a fan, and they talked every day for a year before she went to visit him in Nigeria. When Uzman was waiting for Kim at the airport with his posse, he referred to Kim as a fan.
Oh my God.
Her visit wasn't smooth sailing either. She had to go to dinner with Uzman and another female musician. Little did Kim know he was trying to hide the fact that he was in a relationship with another older lady. Although they spent some overnight alone time together, they didn't even kiss during her visit. When Kim expressed she wanted some love and affection,
"Please let this tonight be the night."
Uzman fought back, asking why he would kiss her if they weren't in a relationship.
I can't do this.
Yikes. After she had enough, Kim threw a drink in his face and took back the Soulja Boy chain that she had made for him. So it's safe to say that they are over.
Yes.
Now Kim doesn't have to worry about being a potential sister wife with someone that can't give him a baby anyway. Hopefully Uzman doesn't slither his way into another season of the show.
Yummy.
Jasmine and Gino. Someone Cue Toxic by Britney Spears, please. Whatever the opposite of Match Made in Heaven is, it's Jasmine and Gino. Gino is still in contact with one of his exes, and it seems like he's in this relationship with Jasmine to rub it in her face.
No, I'm sorry, I did not do that.
Jasmine is super jealous, whether it's over Gino's ex-wife or the waitress. When they went on their first date in Panama, Jasmine scolded Gino for tipping the waitress. She claimed they don't do that in Panama, so he shouldn't either. After explaining that it's a basic requirement in America to tip waitstaff and complimented the waitress for doing her good job, Jasmine accused him of having a thing for the waitress.
You have something with the waitress.
Later in the trip, they went shopping, and when Gino's ex-wife was brought up in a conversation, Jasmine called her stupid and a ghost from the past.
Stupid ex-wife.
While Jasmine seems way too jealous, Gino showed her a big reason why she should be. Gino's ex messaged Jasmine, and you already know, when another woman is in your DMs about your man, it's downhill from there. Gino's ex, who he was still in contact with, sent Jasmine screenshots of their text messages, which contained topless photos of Jasmine. Gino sent explicit pictures of Jasmine to his ex to show her off. I'm sorry, what? Not only did Gino lie about sending photos, but he also failed to mention that he was still in contact with his ex. The two made up quickly after breaking up because Jasmine can tell that he loves her by the way he looks at her. Who's going to tell her he's just looking at her as a potential trophy wife? Mike and Ximena. If being disgusted by your partner translates to love, then Ximena is head over heels for Mike.
Es tierno.
When they met for the first time, butterflies and sparks were not in the air. The mom of two described their first kiss as little, just like Mike's size. She claimed to be used to dating more muscular men, so Mike is a change of pace from her normal type. Mike tends to pass gas in front of Ximena, which disgusts her so much that she claims to fall out of love with him for doing that. Ugh, we don't blame you, girl. However, Ximena seems to be using Mike to help her financially and to pay for her breast augmentation. By the looks of her Instagram, he ended up paying for it, by the way. When shopping for wedding dresses, Ximena gave Mike an ultimatum. If he didn't pay for her operation, she wouldn't marry him. After expressing how she finds Mike creepy, disgusting, and a degenerate, she admitted to Mike that she wasn't in love with him.
No te amo.
After filming, she posted a TikTok showing just how much love she doesn't have for him. Before quickly taking it down, Ximena posted a TikTok of a compilation of FaceTime calls between her and a mystery man. He looked more like her type, but we'll have to see what that video was all about at the tell-all. Ben and Mahogany. Poor Ben. He thought he signed up for a 90-day fiancé before the 90 days, and he ended up being on Catfished. Ben is a 53-year-old divorced Christian man who thought he found his future wife, Mahogany, who is 30 years younger than he is. It seems like she liked the attention from Ben, but when the time came to visit her, she freaked because, well, she seemed like a fraud. Mahogany totally ghosted Ben at the airport with zero communication. However, they finally met after what seemed to be a long time at dinner. Fans were speculating if she was who she said she was because she looked nothing like her online pictures. Ben then met her so-called parents who claimed that Ben did not have good intentions with Mahogany. During the conversation, Ben started to realize he was getting played. He noticed there were no pictures of Mahogany in the house and came to find out that she was 22 and not 24. TBH, 2 years isn't a big difference, so we're not sure why he acted like that was the biggest lie she told him, but the principle remains the same. Mahogany is a liar, if that's even her real name. She then had the audacity to question Ben and his intentions, pretty much implying that he's the reason for his failed marriage and long-term relationship before her. Lisa and Uzman. Back again was Soulja Boy himself. During season 4, Uzman was in a relationship with Lisa.
Somebody bring me a fan, please.
The two had a 21-year age gap, which raised concerns about Uzman's intentions. Before meeting, Lisa's friends brought to her attention that he may be a Yahoo boy, aka a scammer. While Uzman showed his excitement for Lisa far more than he did for Kim when first meeting, he showed his true colors when they first met. Him and his posse made fun of Lisa's belly being bigger than her pictures showed. During their wedding, Uzman's family's resilience to them getting married mirrored what fans were thinking the whole time. After getting married, their relationship was draining. While we know Uzman is a scammer, Lisa seemed to realize that as time went on, but instead of leaving him, she stooped down to his level. Angela and Michael. Angela and Michael have entertained fans since they hit the 90-day fiancé scene. But the married couple have had problems since the beginning of their relationship. When first meeting, Michael complained about Angela being loud and obnoxious. I'm sorry, Michael, how did you not see that through your video chats? Because she does not tone down her attitude for anyone. Michael's family did not approve of the relationship either. In Nigeria, every man is expected to have a child to carry on the family name, and that was a big obstacle because Angela was too old to have a successful pregnancy. Angela also treats Michael like a less than, and even made him sleep in the car after they had a huge fight. She treats him more like one of her kids than her husband. Despite having a tumultuous relationship, they got married, but that didn't change their constant bickering. Ed and Rosemary. Big Ed became a viral sensation after being on 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days, and fans spotted him out in real life quickly after his season aired.
Oh.
Rosemary called Ed out on his BS from the beginning, as she should. Ed crossed the line way too many times with her, so it was good to see her stick to her ground. Ed wanted to know every little detail about Rose's past, but it seemed like her past was triggering, so she wasn't comfortable talking about it.
My heart cracked.
Plus, she wanted to enter a new life with Ed, so why dwell on the past? Ed agreed to stop pressing her about her past if she took an STD test. He clearly didn't trust her, so why even be in a relationship? While Ed didn't seem to trust Rose, she didn't trust him either and even accused him of being attracted to her sister. Courtney and Antonio. Lively Courtney had been catfished before coming on the show, so would you think she would learn from her past mistakes and spot red flags? Before she traveled to Spain to meet Antonio, they barely talked on the phone or through video chat, so texts were the sole communication of their relationship. Her parents voiced their concerns before her big trip, and you know what they say, mama knows best, and Courtney should have listened to hers. Before flying internationally, Antonio took her to a work event, which ended up being a pageant. Jet lag, airport funk, traveling, and having to go to an event right after without warning? Absolutely not. Patrick and Miriam. The ultimate friend zone. Patrick fell for French gal Miriam even though she never expressed romantic feelings towards him. They had a great friendship, which is where things may have been misconstrued. Miriam had a boyfriend when Patrick came to visit her, so yeah. Their relationship was destined to fail because she was already in one with someone else.
Whatever.
After her relationship was over, she and Patrick tried to have a romantic relationship, but Patrick was ultimately forever stuck in the friend zone. Yolanda and Williams. Yolanda was in love with a British man of her dreams who was a con artist. Yolanda revealed to her kids that she had a boyfriend who she met on Instagram, and they were immediately on high alert.
I met somebody.
Williams asked Yolanda for money, and she wasn't completely naive, and instead suggested that she come visit him. But when she asked what airport to fly into, Williams made zero sense. Yolanda's daughter ended up hiring a private investigator.
So I hired a private investigator to finally give my mom some answers.
So her mother could finally realize she was in love with a total stranger. Ximena admitted to Mike that she doesn't love him on 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. But did she ever really love him?
Mike no puede ser lindo de físico, pero de corazón. Lo es.
Hard communication. Ximena lives in Colombia and speaks fluent Spanish, while Mike only speaks English. You can tell he tries to freshen up his Spanish vocabulary, but he only knows a few phrases or words.
¿Por qué la borras?
Communication is a big factor in a relationship for both romantic reasons and just to simply be on the same page as one another. Mike always has his phone out when they talk so Siri can translate their conversations, and it creates a disconnect between the two. But let's be real, their language barrier is the least of their problems. She thinks he's creepy. Before telling Mike that she doesn't love him, Ximena expressed how she finds him creepy.
Tú eres raro.
You are weird.
She showed concerns about Mike being creepy and not giving her enough space. She recalled a time where she was sleeping and she woke up to see Mike staring at her in a strange way, and she definitely got the ick from it. "You don't sleep so you can spy on me and look at me. I mean, what is that?" she asked Mike during their conversation. Mike, however, didn't find his actions creepy and told her that he watches her sleep because he thinks she's beautiful all the time. Oh.
I'm not spying on you. I just like to look at you because you're beautiful. When you sleep, when you're up, you're beautiful all the time.
Even though Mike tried to defend his actions, Ximena demanded that she sleep in separate rooms and that he was starting to lose her. Mystery man. On February 17th, Ximena posted a TikTok of a man who definitely wasn't Mike, and the video had fans suspecting that she moved on from Mike after filming. The video wasn't uploaded for a long time before Ximena deleted it, but a fan account grabbed a hold of the video and posted it to their Instagram account. The video was a compilation of FaceTime calls with her potential new suitor with a text that hints that they are in fact together. "I fell in love with your smile," the text wrote with a ton of heart emojis. A majority of the pictures shown were clips of the two having quite the bedtime FaceTime calls. The man was also shirtless in a majority of pictures. All signs are pointing that this is her new boyfriend. However, if her and Mike are together, then Ximena has some explaining to do. The sad part is, Ximena showed this man more love in this tiny video than she did to Mike throughout the season of the show. Their relationship is fake. 90 Day Fiancé fans are starting to believe that Mike and Ximena's relationship was fake from the start, and they were used just to make entertaining reality TV. Mike tends to post memes on his Instagram account when responding to critics about his relationship with Ximena. He posted a meme of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with the text, "You think reality TV is real? You probably think I have a real chocolate factory." Fans are also starting to think that Mike feels like his lady is getting a bad edit and is being portrayed as the season villain. The theory does make sense because Mike may be naive, but he can't be that blinded by love, can he? Ximena has shown her disgust for Mike so often that the only thing she seems to be with him for is for his lavish gifts and money.
Esa sala me la dio Mai. Este es el comedor. Me lo dio también Mai. La nevera. Me la dio Mike también. La estufa me la dio Mike hace como un mes.
Seeing how she treats him on the show, it's silly for Mike to keep spoiling her financially. But if the theory is true that Ximena got a bad edit and their relationship isn't as bad as it's portrayed, then we feel less sorry for Mike. Guess we'll have to see everything unfold at the tell-all. Their relationship was planned. Ximena has 2 sons from previous relationships and encounters, and apparently she had difficult pregnancies. Mike, though, has been adamant on having children with Ximena in the future. During their year-long online relationship before meeting face-to-face on the show, Ximena played along with Mike's wants and needs of having a baby. But during an episode of 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 days, Ximena told Mike tragic news that you think would have crushed him. The 25-year-old told Mike that she had an operation done after giving birth to her 2 sons, so she can't have any more kids. Optimistic Mike, however, didn't let that major news let his spirits down. He turned to IVF as an option, which is nice, but if Ximena is telling the truth about having difficult pregnancies, why would he want to put her health in harm by having another baby with him?
I just wish you would have told me. I just don't want any secrets between us.
Other fans think Ximena may be lying about not wanting to have children because she had no emotion when breaking the news to Mike.
Yo no puedo tener hijos. O sea, yo me operé y no puedo tener más hijos.
Since it seems like she doesn't want to be with Mike romantically, she probably doesn't want to have a kid with him either. He grosses her out. 2 words, personal hygiene. One of Ximena's biggest pet peeves of Mike is his gassiness and messiness. She called her sister Wendy to vent about Mike's manners, or lack thereof, and she seemed stressed. During a sweet, intimate moment between her and Mike, he farted while on top of her kissing. Talk about a mood killer. He also burped in front of her family, which really isn't cool. Ximena confronted Mike about his behaviors and even said that they're so disappointing that it makes her fall out of love with him. While Mike says he didn't mean for that to happen, he doesn't think that his gas problems are that big of a deal. Oh, Mike, personal hygiene is a big deal, especially when you just started physically seeing each other and are supposed to be in the honeymoon phase. Like Ximena's sister said, if it's already starting up, how is it going to end up? Surgery deal breaker. Ximena has expressed her desperate need for a breast augmentation and said it will help her for her aspiring modeling career. When she and Mike went shopping for wedding dresses, the magical day ended with a big ultimatum. Ximena told Mike that she will not marry him until he agrees to pay for the procedure. Mike is pleased with the way she looks already, so he doesn't want to fork up the money for a surgery he sees as unnecessary. She laid down the law and demanded that he give her the money that week so she could have the surgery the day after he would leave to go back to New York. Mike was hurt by the ultimatum because he knew if he didn't pay for the operation, then there would ultimately be no wedding.
She should be wanting to use that money for our future together, but that doesn't seem to be on her mind.
Unimpressed first look. The first time you see the love of your life, you get butterflies. Ximena, however, was unimpressed with Mike's physical appearance when they finally met in person. She previously said that she's used to dating muscular men. Mike doesn't quite fit in that category. She said that their first kiss lacked passion, but was sure that it would get better over time. She also thought Mike was packing a few more inches and was shocked when she saw how tall he is. When I saw him, I was like, wow, he's shorter. But there is one thing that she showed interest in, his tiny glasses. No man on the gram. Following the Mystery Men scandal, it was noticed Ximena doesn't follow Mike on her Instagram, even though he follows her. He has made it IG a fish with her, but Ximena has 0 pictures of Mike on hers. That's suspicious, but Mike's friends aren't shy enough to hold their tongues when it comes to what they think of Ximena. One of Mike's friends commented on the repost of the TikTok video that Ximena made and spilled some piping hot tea. The friend confirmed the rumors and said he was even in the same hotel as Mike and Ximena when Mike went to visit her again. Poor friend. He just got back from Colombia yesterday, treated her in the Fam de Cartagena, and that dude had a hotel room next door to Mikey's room, the friend wrote. Where do they stand now? It's all a bit confusing, especially with rumors swirling that Ximena has moved on. But considering she clearly got the breast augmentation and had a recent 25th birthday bash, the clues are pointing that Ximena and Mike actually are still together. You would think. Mike has been filming for 90 Day Fiancé, but the leading lady he was with was not Ximena. So these two are officially over. And she covered up his tattoo. Talk about Control-Alt-Delete. Either way, we have our popcorn on deck for the tell-all to finally get all of our questions answered.
From a rocky relationship with Rose to being completely friend-zoned by Kaori, 90 Day fan favorite Big Ed has certainly had quite the dating history.
I have a sassy butt.
And he has finally decided to settle down with his true love, Liz Woods.
I love Liz. I want to be with her.
But where do the two stand after their big engagement? Ed and Liz are engaged and planning a wedding ASAP. But it was not always so easy. Liz Woods was first introduced on 90 Day The Single Life as Ed's first girlfriend after his failed relationship with Rosemary Vega.
I think you not love me.
Liz was a manager at Ed's fave restaurant, and after some awkward kisses and cringy dates, he asked her to be his girlfriend. Then, after a lack of support from Ed's family due to their large age gap and Ed rushing the relationship,
Ed loves to rush.
The couple announced on the Single Life tell-all that they were no longer together. This was not surprising at all, considering there were so many red flags in their relationship. But after 6 months of being apart, the loss of Ed's dog made Liz reach back out. In a shocking ending to The Single Life, Ed announced that he and Liz are not only back together, but that the two are engaged.
We're engaged!
Wow, that was fast. She seems to have forgotten him for his narcissistic ways. She said, "I was very angry and hurt by you, but there was never a day where I didn't miss you." After being broken up for 6 months, he explained to Access that once he was back in America, he asked to take Liz out to dinner with a very important question in mind. "Am I your forever?" And she said yes. After this, he ran to the closest ring shop and bought the biggest ring he could find, which ended up costing a whopping $13,000. But was this just one big bribe? Because some of Ed's former 90 Day castmates are not so sure. There was a whole lot of spilled tea on the Season 2 tell-all of The Single Life, where the cast did not hold back on giving their opinion on Ed and Liz. The two both suspiciously agreed that the reason their relationship did not work was because someone else was texting Liz on Ed's phone. Like, what? This, of course, did not sit well with the cast.
And you're not in love with her, you're using her. You are desperate.
Colty's mom continued to roast Ed and tell him that he only loves himself and Liz needs to wait a long time before deciding to actually marry him. Do you think the ring was just to convince Liz?
He came back crying, and he gave her the biggest gift he could think of, and that is an engagement. And that's how he got her back.
But Ed's 90 Day castmates were not the only ones hating on his engagement. His mom and sister are also not supportive of this quick decision. They are staying away from press and did not agree to speak at the tell-all. This was surprising considering Ed's mom became a part of the big show as she helped guide him through his journey to find love. But it comes at no surprise that Tiffany, Ed's daughter, wanted nothing to do with the tell-all or his relationship with Liz. She was never really a fan of Liz from the start. I mean, it is pretty awkward that Tiffany is a year older than Liz. Ed's interest in young girls has been an issue throughout all of his relationships, as the almost 30-year gap was just not sitting well with his family.
Are you dating somebody that's younger than your daughter? That's weird.
So, I am sure that Tiffany was not too happy hearing that Ed popped the question after being heartbroken once again. Despite all of Ed and Liz's fam and friends warning them to wait to get married, the two are not listening. With only 5 months in, the two lovebirds are already working on wedding plans. They are reportedly planning on getting married August 1st in San Diego, California. I really wonder who will be on the guest list. Any of the 90 Day castmates? What about Ed's own mom and daughter? But it seems like the planning is coming along smoothly as Liz posts gushing over her new bridesmaids, as she's certainly not afraid to spam her 140,000 fans with lots of pics of her bling. But what else is coming along with engaged life? Well, it seems as though the two are pretty happy not making any babies for the time being, and it looks like Ed has basically taken in Liz's 8-year-old daughter as his own, which is super cute to see. Ed previously lived with his mother for his duration of time on TV, but I wonder if Ed finally realized it was time to move out now that he is finally growing his family. But let's not forget, Ed did get a vasectomy back when he was dating Rose because he thought that he was far too old to be having any more babies. But oh, that does not mean there haven't been lots of pregnancy rumors. 90 Day Fiancé fans were completely shook when Liz posted on her Instagram story that our family is growing, and the family was in fact growing with a new baby. A fur baby, that is. The couple share that they have adopted a new puppy, and it is just the sweetest. Of course, it could never replace Ed's love for his deceased baby Teddy, but the new puppy seems to be just fine. Liz joked that her 8-year-old had been asking for a sibling for a long time, so she told her she could get a dog instead. It is certainly not a baby, but honestly, maybe this is better. This seems pretty serious to me, and they even got matching tattoos together. But what do you think? I can't wait to see lots of wedding pics featuring Ed's mayo hair, of course, and who all will be in attendance.